Good afternoon, YouTube. What's going on? It's Mesa back at it with some Destiny. So if you missed the Bungie stream where they go over some, not all, of the weapon tuning we're getting next week, here it is. I'm going to timestamp in the description the different places you might want to go. They start off on the couch, just kind of talking about overall changes. Then they go into private matches, talk about even more changes. And then they go into a private match again and just play against each other. I'm pretty comfortable with most of these changes, but then again, they didn't go over all of them. I can tell you right now, pulse rifles, big changes. Shotguns, somewhat changes. Special ammo, big changes. And when you watch them play in the second private match, which I'm going to timestamp, you get some more nuggets. Like they mentioned Shinobu's vow. They mentioned Scory's memory of Scory. Nothing's happening to Scory. So watch the whole stream. I'm going to timestamp when the first private match starts, where they actually show you just them testing out all these changes. Then also when they go back into private matches again to fight each other. And then also they go back on the couch and talk about some more stuff where we get some more nuggets. So let me know all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. All right, see you guys.
Welcome to a Bungie live stream about your weapons, your abilities, and all the things that make your Guardian a badass in Destiny. I'm Deej, and I'll be your host. More importantly, I have on the hot seat two brave sandbox designers from Bungie, and they are Josh Hamrick.
Hi, Mom.
And Greg Pang.
How's it going?
Really glad you guys could be with us here today. These gentlemen and their team have been working on Destiny Hotfix 2502. Coming to your console, should you choose to download it, next week. And it's packed full of changes that will impact the way Guardians combat each other and their enemies, but really, what we're talking about today are how these weapon and ability and sandbox changes are going to impact combat between Guardians in the Crucible.
Yep.
So, the concept of a sandbox, the notion of the combat sandbox, a lot of game developers use the word sandbox. It means different things to other people. What does the sandbox mean at Bungie?
So the sandbox is really the player's extension into the game. It is the extension of the player's hands. It's what they touch. It's what they interact with. It's things like grenades, melees, builds, supers, abilities, your guns, obviously.
Yes.
Using your hands to touch your guns. And vehicles. So the player riding a sparrow. These are all things that the player interacts with and is their sense of agency in the game.
The way I fight, the way I move. So when somebody says that Destiny is fun to play, that's the secret sauce that you guys are always looking to cook up in your kitchen.
That's what we're trying to do.
All right.
Yes.
And Josh, what does that mean in your role specifically?
In my role, it is a whole lot of looking for the next cool thing to do, the fun thing, the stuff that players are going to want to see. Hopefully stuff they haven't seen before. Yeah. And then often going to playtest and letting people destroy us and then give us very hard feedback on what we have done or haven't done. So
for all you hunters out there, Mr. Hamrick here is somewhat of the origin of the species, are you not?
Yes, it is the Golden Gun Hunter is definitely built around my playstyle.
Okay, so there you go. This was patient zero for the Golden Gun. You were here at Bungie for some of the earliest explorations of the class system that we brought into this game, Hunter, Titan, Warlock. Certainly an interesting exploration, and now you have a chance to make it fresh again.
That's right.
Okay. And Greg, how long have you been with us?
It's almost 2 years now.
Cool. All right. Well, we're glad to have you on the show today. Really excited to show off some of the different changes that you're going to be making to the way we fight, the way we move, the way we use weapons, the way we use our fists. We're going to talk about all of those things. Before we dive right into the actual changes that you're making, I'd love to give our audience a sense of how you work, what you pay attention to when you make your decisions. So take us through sort of a tactical analysis, a statistical diagnosis, if you will, of the state of the Crucible at this time.
Yeah. So 2502 is definitely built on a list of changes that we've mined from both data, our gut from playing the game, because we play all the time, and also we've paid attention to Reddit and Bungie.net. Greg is, I occasionally look back and see.
Like, I pretty much have a timer on my clock every 3 hours. I better check Reddit, otherwise it feels bad.
I think you're going to have a lot of new stuff to read on the internet after this little show that we're putting on.
And so we've got some of that data we've brought to display. I believe we have a graph that shows kills in the Crucible by subclass.
Okay.
And these are weapon kills, right? So we have everything from assault rifles to even swords. Swords are not the problem currently, but shotguns are dominant.
Yeah,
and
they do have their lion's share of the carnage there. So screenshot that at will, because we're not going to leave this on screen for long. But so you look at the data like this, you determine a disparity. People talk about weapon balance.
Right.
And you talk about that as well. I know there's been a lot of chatter at Bungie about every weapon should have a logical use. Every weapon should have some sort of valuable application to combat. And if a weapon is way out ahead of everything else like that, that tells you that the war stories that we're reading on the forum, I mean, forums are home to the hardcore, the 1%ers, the people who are the most invested, the people who play the game the most. And we can get, invaluable information from those players and the things that they tell us. But the question is, are those narratives and are those opinions sort of reflected across the millions of people who are still playing Destiny every month? So data like this confirms our suspicions.
Right. So if you've been on a forum and you've been saying shotguns are hot, and then we go look at this, we can easily say, you were right. Shotguns are very, very hot.
Yeah. And as players of your own, as fans of your own product, you can come into work the next day and you're like, I was in Iron Banner last night and shotguns are hot.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay.
And so, so the goal is not to nerf anything into the ground. In fact, it is preferably just that every weapon has its place. And so shotguns are meant for shotgunning and snipers are meant for sniping. And when those two, when shotguns take over all of that, then we know we have a problem, right?
That's kind of both ends of the spectrum, right? Like close quarters, long range.
Right.
But if shotguns become the all-purpose tool and if sniper rifles become a battle rifle, you have a specific role and purpose for the different categories of weapons. And that's something I'd really like to explore during the live fire exercise. Yep. We'll get to that later. I think you have some more maths for us, though?
We do have more maths. So if we switch to the next thing, this is your primary weapons.
Okay.
And so this isn't terrible, but looking at it, what we can see is that one, no land is still obviously in use by some amount of people, but two, that pulse rifles and hand cannons are currently the dominant species in PvP.
Yeah.
For hand cannons, you're welcome, and for pulse rifles,
yeah.
So the aim is not, again, to nerf those into non-existence. In fact, I believe some of the changes we've made to both people will be very happy about. Okay. But for sure, we would like to make some changes that help pull scout rifles back up and assault rifles back up as well.
Okay.
That is,
I'm sure you're aware, having checked Bungie.net and Reddit every 3 hours, as you do, Mr. Peng, I'm sure you're aware that is a very popular and common narrative among the community right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Stop taking everything we love and nerfing it. Take the things that need to be better to be at that level and give me an incentive to use them instead. Or give people who love using them their own time to shine.
Right, exactly. And so while we have to balance that out against time to kill, because we don't want the primary time to kills to get too high where they then stomp on special weapons in the same way that shotguns have been stomping on primaries.
Yeah.
But the goal is definitely to give you reasons to run everything and less about giving you reasons to not run something, if that makes sense.
Well, we will see. We'll see if it makes sense. I mean, we can talk all day, but eventually, we got to get a gun in our hand, and we have to see how it works.
But wait,
really,
there's one more graph.
Absolutely. I don't want to step on your maths.
So if we go one more in, this is special weapons, and and shotguns are clearly dominant. So again, I don't know if you've heard us say that yet, but shotguns are really good.
Shotguns what? Shotguns are good in Destiny?
They're real good in Destiny, yeah.
How do you know?
Because we've
Who said shotguns are good in Destiny?
I think everybody.
I've heard that.
Yep.
I've seen the tweets.
Yes, exactly. The tweets on the tweeters.
The tweets.
So,
you really shouldn't tweet that stuff at me. You can tweet at Greg C. Peng.
Yes, you could.
He looks at the internet every 3 hours for this sorts of thing.
Definitely,
and
Greg.
He's much smarter than me in terms of weapon balance, which is why he's on the hot seat. You got any more maths?
No, I think that's all the maths.
Yeah?
All the numbers we could stand.
All right, that's all, yeah. So class is dismissed, and what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at how you're responding to this meta. how you're taking this information and changing up the game. And to do this, we're going to conduct a live fire exercise. So let's join our fire team that we've assembled in orbit. These are test accounts. So we're playing in the dev environment here at Bungie. We are coming to you live from the future. This is Destiny 2502, and we'll be deploying this to you on Tuesday. Go ahead and launch.
Sure.
So, as I said, these gamer names here are of our own creation. So, if you're rushing off to the PlayStation Network to send a friend request to move the needle, you're never going to. There might be someone out there with that name.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Poor guy. Yeah, like what?
I have so many friends.
No, I'm not at E3. Leave me alone. Those are some of the same accounts that we use when we go to shows and people stand online for hours at a time to get their hands on some hot new Destiny. But we're using them today to test these. And the other people that you'll be playing against are people that you frequently play against in your playtest labs.
Yes, many people that have helped to get 2502 out the door. And by helped, I mean like helped.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you come up with your best theories in hand. You do a smoke test. They cave in your heads.
Right.
All right.
And then they proceed to cave in our heads with feedback.
Yeah, and kind of like Morpheus, they say, "How did I beat you?" And you're like, "Oh, I think your shotgun's too hot."
Exactly.
Okay. So we're going to be hanging out at Bannerfall today. We're going to gather together right around that very tree. And the idea is that Greg and Josh are going to take turns talking about some of the different changes in the game. One will be speaking, the other will be demonstrating, providing some proof of concept for exactly how these changes will play out. So it's a race to the tree. Everyone gather around the tree. You know where the tree is. Here we go. And our crash test dummies, if you will, they're not dumb. They're just, it's a metaphor. Our crash test dummies are going to take a corner on every side of the tree, and we will give some proof of concept here.
Got him.
So of all the categories of weapons that we have affected some change on, which one would you like to talk about first?
Well, while sidearms are probably the most notable.
Is that right?
Yeah, we didn't change those at all.
Okay.
So instead, we'll start with shotguns.
All right.
And so I believe Greg has a Matador 64 in his hands. It's a little known special weapon that's seen some use as of late.
Yes.
So a couple things we've done are, for starters, we have significantly decreased magnetism and entirely turned off aim assist when firing a shotgun from the hip.
You're going to have to aim that thing.
You're going to have to aim it. So so you either want to be real close or you want to be zoomed in.
Okay.
And then, if you zoom in and do the walk around trick. Look how sticky that is. And yet, if he unzooms.
Now, go ahead and unzoom.
And do this sticky trick. Oh, not as sticky. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's doing some stuff. And then the other thing we did that is, again, intended to put the shotgun kind of more in its place and back to its corner, is we've significantly decreased the in-air accuracy of shotguns.
Uh-huh.
And so you can't just, occasionally, you get lucky, it's a shotgun, right? It does spread. You'll occasionally kill a guy. But very often these days, if you try, you were on the ground when you did that. If you were to try to kill a guy from the air, you're very likely to significantly miss.
Well, he was right up on the guy.
Yeah, that's cheating, Greg.
There you go.
Okay. So, I believe Greg has some other notes, and then I will come down here and hold the gun. Greg, go to your place. Go to your place.
All right. So a key thing that we try to do is we get a lot of complaints that shotguns are somewhat inconsistent, and partially that has to do with the fact that depending on whether you get a headshot or not, there's a precision damage multiplier that increases the damage of a pellet. And because the shotgun spread is inherently random, there may be some cases where more or less pellets are going to hit the head.
So sometimes the guy dies, sometimes the guy doesn't die.
Sometimes doesn't die. Yeah. So in the new world, we actually removed precision damage from shotguns. So the ideal strategy is to go straight for chest.
Okay.
Of course, it's to make sure that we don't affect PvE in a bad way. We made sure that shotguns now deal 20% more damage to combatants to offset the reduction, or I guess complete removal of precision damage.
Now the cool thing about that in PvE that I think is worth noting is that you don't have to go for the precision kill with the shotguns to get that bonus damage. So the shotguns just get more damage in PvE these days.
They're just straight up better.
Yes.
Yep. So let's get some action here. Show us exactly what you're talking about.
So the one thing that we want to be clear about, you'll notice I have a Chaperone in my hand, and if you have a Chaperone or covet a Chaperone, you know that it is a slug shotgun and does precision damage by default.
Yep.
And so just to prove that we're not idiots, hey, it still does precision damage. And that is also true for Universal Remote, although it only does it from ADS. But those two guns that are built around that style continue to have precision damage. And so one other thing that we did, technically two other things. One is positive. We removed, so for Rangefinder on shotguns, which is a key perk, I would say, for the Matador 64, we have decreased your ADS time, so the time it takes to go from hip into ADS by 25% on that perk.
Okay.
And so that just gives you a reason that Rangefinder isn't necessarily always the best. And again, because we are pushing you into a position where you want to aim that gun, now Rangefinder still boosts your range, but you pay for it a little bit by having to slowly move into ADS.
Okay.
So and then, go ahead.
Oh, so if you want to compare it with and without, oops, do I have one without? I do not. Oops. This is the new ADS speed that we're looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then
finally, we removed we had previously in an old nerf a long ago. We had put a movement penalty on the shotguns when you're actually moving around with the weapon in your hands, and we've removed that. We feel like it's unnecessary these days, and there's, you're paying for the hips or the ADS stuff now, not that. So we've made them better.
To summarize all of this, when you think about a shotgun, when you think about the concept of a shotgun, it's a scatter weapon.
Yes.
It's not built for precision.
Right. So
removing precision damage, as you said, sends it back to its own corner. I like that. And shotguns are, a stand and deliver weapon. The idea of somebody flying through the air with a big heavy barrel and using it as an acrobat is not really what you had intended it for. Correct. So shotguns are still supposed to be lethal.
Yes,
I mean, shotguns are badass. I personally love shotguns, and it's dangerous to say that right now because it's a great way to paint a target on your back for the community. But right there, I mean, pretty much standing toe-to-toe, firing from the hip, you're only taking shields down. But then if you stand and you aim and you have no special ammo, so now that's going to happen. But if you stand and you shoulder that shotgun and you fire, at the body mass, it's still going to be an effective weapon.
Correct.
But if you're flying through the air with the greatest of ease and trying to use it as if you're a Blue Angel or something like that, it's just not going to happen for you.
That's correct.
Obviously, if you Batman a player and you do like a death from above move, if you can,
if
surprise
you put it against the top of his dome, there's a good chance that you're going to drop him.
Okay.
Yes,
all right. Lord of Time, Deed Shotgun Warrior confirmed. Everybody in Destiny has their play style, and I have a personal affinity for shotguns even in life. And I'm not ashamed to admit it anymore. Shotgun players like me can be proud again, and I've been using shotguns the way I think you would have intended.
Oh, well, good.
That's why I think I've been a little, I'm not skilled enough to completely understand the complaints, but, we have people like these guys who are standing here and taking it. They're not going to be like that for the entire stream.
Correct.
We're going to let them off the chain before the stream is over, and we're going to let them show us what they're really capable of. So you can have your fun doing this right now, but there will be a reckoning.
Correct. This is the way we thank them for their hard service, by the way, as we bring them in and shoot them
You're
over
stand
and over
still,
again.
and I'm going to shoot you point blank.
Thanks for your help, pal. So I think the other big thing that we talked about earlier is pulse rifles.
Okay.
So if we want to switch to those, Gregory.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're talking.
I get it.
I'm sorry.
Ooh. All right. So first thing we did was we reduced the rate of fire for the highest rate of fire pulse rifles by 7.7%. So that pretty much equates, if you talk about frames, that's it takes one more frame before you can fire another.
Say that
burst
again. You
round.
reduced the rate of fire by 7.7%?
7.7%.
Okay, so this is kind of a patch note preview. You'll get all the numbers, you'll get all the gory details, you'll be able to scrutinize the decimal points and the percentage symbols, but this is sort of a high-level preview of what you'll see on Tuesday when you read your patch notes.
And if I could just put a little star on that, if we got our math wrong, it is not intentional to deceive anyone. It's that math can be hard.
Maths are hard.
Yes.
Maths are hard. Well, you know, let's...
But I think it's right.
Don't preempt your good vibes. I'll talk about the mistakes if we make them. You've been here for a long time, so there's some specific things that, you know, we can remember. But
Just saying, I've tripped over some stuff in the past.
haven't we always? Haven't we always? Will the one of us that's never made a math mistake cast the first stone? So what are some examples of some of the highest rate of fire pulse rifles? I see you're wielding Clever Dragon there.
So that's Clever Dragon and Grasp of Malak. Those are the two most notable highest rate of fire pulse rifles.
I have heard tell of the Grasp of Malak. Yes.
It's graspy.
Yeah.
It's very graspy and
very
Malak-y.
graspy. Yeah.
And in this case, if you were to do the maths, again, by lowering the rate of fire, Greg can back me up on this, we've technically lowered the DPS by a bit, which, you know, if you're new to the weapon balancing field, that's what that's going to do. So it is going to lower.
Translate the inside baseball for me. DPS stands for?
Damage per second.
Okay, not Destiny player support.
It could, though.
It could.
It
does.
does.
That's how acronyms.
That's how acronyms work.
Yeah.
Okay. What else have we done to the pulse rifles?
This is you.
Sure.
We have notes.
Feel free to keep shooting and demonstrating as you let them see the guns, let them see the numbers.
So high caliber rounds, the effect of high caliber rounds for pulse rifles has been reduced. So the amount of flinch you get from pulse rifles overall will be lower. Now, not only did we change the effect for high caliber rounds, we also reduced the base flinch for pulse rifles in general.
This might be a good time to point out, though, that we did fix high caliber rounds.
We did. We fixed high caliber rounds for pretty much every other.
All the ones we broke it for. Yeah.
So hand cannons and scouts, in the past, they were either non-effectual or actual reductions in flinch for high caliber rounds. Thanks to the community.
They pointed
this out to us.
Okay.
Yep. And then I will pull up my inventory screen for Clever Dragon.
Okay.
That's not.
Clever Dragon.
No, but this is. And then Greg, you want to walk them through the big kick?
Oh yeah. So here's the biggest thing. We directly nerf Clever Dragon and Grasp of Malak by reducing their magazine size. So this means that if you want to run what commonly known as the God roll, the brace frame Clever Dragon, it'll reduce your magazine from 24 to 18, which is quite a significant. So there's going to be a much more trade-off to get that God roll for these guns.
And Clever used to be 30, and then brace frame would drop it to 24. Is that right? Yeah. So
still a godly weapon, but fewer bullets in the mag. You have to choose your engagements a little bit more carefully. Someone like me who has no reload discipline, I would be in deep trouble.
Exactly. And then on the positive side, I'll come stand up here, blink correctly. There we go. We have increased the rate of fire for the lowest rate of fire pulse rifles by 5.3%, little star. And then, so that means that the lowest rate of fire pulse rifles actually have a DPS boost, damage per second boost, Destiny player support. And then we've also, and this is across the remaining primary. So pulse rifles, assault rifles, and scout rifles, we have increased all of their in-air accuracy. So for those of you who have been jealous of the hand cannoners flying through the air with the greatest of ease, they're still not level because we've still felt like there's some personality there with the hand cannon that deserves to be respected.
Okay.
But they are significantly better in air and allow you to deal more damage, hit your targets more accuracy while flying.
So if you're in chat and you're having a nervous breakdown because you've been an acrobatic shotgunner, pick up one of the weapons that you just described.
That's right.
Go
Assault
back to your
rifles
primaries.
Are sort of shotgun-like. They fire a lot of bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the special weapons seem to be for the gamer that's good at surprising their opponents, defending a fixed position. The primary weapons are for the dance, for the acrobat, for the person that just makes me, I don't understand how people can pull off some of the things that they pull off. Like, where'd he go? Where'd who go?
Yep,
okay.
Exactly. And so that's about it for pulse rifles
Okay.
and for Clever Dragon.
What's up
specific
next?
Changes. Let's talk about assault rifles.
All right.
So I'll switch to one, and then Greg can.
Tell me about my beloved Shadow Price.
So we increased the base damage
Okay.
of the low rate of fire auto rifles.
Yes.
So those become much more easy to use. We increased the precision damage multiplier from 1.25 to now 1.3.
Okay.
So you're gonna get slightly higher time to kill actually on the highest rate of fire doctrine class.
So that is quite literally a move by inches.
Yes.
To employ a metaphor from the big game over the weekend. Sometimes when our community sees fractions of percentage points in weapon changes, they tend to scoff, because if I told you, hey, I just gave you a 0.05 raise, don't spend it all in one place, they'd be like, thanks, jerk. But when we're talking about a weapon, when we're talking about a precision damage multiplier, talk to me about like how that change is going to feel in their hands.
Well, it's gonna make it so that the importance for aiming on head is a little bit more important for autos. So you get like the bonus by being more precise.
Yeah.
But also, if you think about any change we make in Destiny, it's all a question, not necessarily of the exact number, but there's these thresholds. There's these thresholds based on guardian health, based on range. There's always like a threshold that at some point could change a gun from being average to incredible.
Yeah.
So it's these thresholds that we're looking at that really dictate any change we make from the sandbox. And
Yeah.
the littlest change could actually cross something in that threshold.
So you want to make changes that just might save my life. You don't want to make changes that turn me into Medusa, where I look at a player and they die.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we also inherit the lovely in-air accuracy bonus for autos as well.
So basically, assault rifles, full buff across the board, like just better in every way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So hopefully,
I'm thanking
some
you
of
on behalf of myself. I really can't speak for everyone in chat right now. But there's mixed reactions. That's the great thing about Destiny. So many different types of players, so many different combat specialties, preferences, and ways to play. So everybody gets to give and receive a little bit in 2.5.02.
And to be clear, we play tested the crap out of these changes. So like,
I
they're
would
not
hope
going to
so.
be perfect, right? But like,
What's
we
perfect?
played them right, exactly.
Have you ever played a perfect video game? Don't answer that.
But just like we've played the assault rifles and felt the buff, and it matters. Like
Okay.
it changes things for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else about assault rifles? Auto rifles, as we say.
I think that clears it up.
Okay. So up next,
Hand cannons.
the hand cannon.
The hand cannons. Let me switch to a hand cannon real quick.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead. Which one are you going to pick? Which one are you going to pick?
I'm gonna run. Which one are you gonna pick?
Pick a winner.
I was gonna pick a nice
You can only have.
You're gonna go the pound drum.
You can only have one exotic at a time, Hamrick.
palindrome.
Sandbox team.
These
taking
rules.
away all of our fun.
I mean, I want to go with the gun that I worked on.
I'm real good at blinking, guys. I'm real. All right. So let's talk about hand cannons.
Let's talk
which,
about hand
If
cannons.
you know anything about me, it's definitely my favorite weapon.
You're a gunslinger.
I'm a gunslinger.
All
That's
right.
right. So for hand cannons, what we have done is we have significantly increased the initial accuracy. And when I say significant, I mean we reset it literally to the
Destiny
the
year
one,
one. Yeah.
non-taken king, year one hand cannon initial accuracy.
Okay.
Now it blows out larger than it did in year one, but that initial first shot, that's just like you got it straight out of the box.
So I'm
right?
reading chat. Oh no! Yes! Laugh out loud. Thank the Lord. Finally. Oh God! No! Don't do this. So, yeah. Talk
let
about
me-
a polarizing weapon, the
Yes.
hand cannon.
So here's the thing: if we do that, and we did, but if we did, and we did, they are going to be real good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to
Give something.
give something.
Yeah. It can't be a handheld sniper rifle.
Correct.
It's the mini sniper rifle.
Exactly. So so what we did is we reduced the base range by about 5 meters.
Nothing. It's fine. It's just
Like a cat,
It's
dude.
just a clicker.
By about 5 meters, so they drop off faster than they used to.
Okay.
And that includes the aim assist and magnetism.
Yep.
Although we've mostly focused the aim, so the base range changes across the board. It's all hand cannon types.
Yep.
It's all of them. The aim assist and magnetism reduction is mostly on the high range hand cannons, because we felt like the low end for aim assist and magnetism were about as low as we felt comfortable going.
So let's call out these damage numbers as we see them. 40.
And then the big thing, the thing you're going to feel more than anything
33.
else
33.
is that we've reduced the max range damage from previously
29.
at max distance, your hand cannon would drop off to be 50% your max damage. And we've lowered that, so now you can drop all the way down to 33%.
You're in another neighborhood now.
Yeah, exactly.
So the legend of the Old West is back. Your bullets go where you aim them, but
do.
You got to aim them close. A hand cannon is not a sniper rifle.
No.
It's not a close quarters weapon like a shotgun, but it's not intended to be. It's not intended to be a laser beam.
No,
right?
It's significantly more accurate than it has been most recently,
Mm-hmm.
but it's up to you if you want to choose to pick a fight with a guy all the way across the map, because in all honesty, you're probably not going to win that fight. However, it's great for knocking a sniper around and getting him off your buddy long enough so that your buddy can cross a path.
Yep.
It's also great for cleanup kills, if that's your thing.
If that's your thing.
Yep.
That is actually my thing. I'm
That is
an
awesome.
assist player. So there's some requests in chat. They want to see the last word.
Yep.
And you'd also talked to me about the fact that your shots need to be more deliberate.
They do.
There are some
yes.
anti-spam.
Yeah, so that is, even though we've increased the initial accuracy, the final accuracy, what you get when you fire as fast as you possibly can,
Yeah.
when your hands are going everywhere,
Yeah.
That remains the same as it has today if you play Destiny. And so it blows out further than it did in year one, for example.
Okay.
And so that just means that I always talk about, you want to be a samurai with the weapon. You want to take your time and ignore the bullets whizzing past your face and breathe through it and take your shots, and then you'll get the kill. But
Stand
if you
your
just-
ground.
Yeah,
Yep.
If you freak out,
Yeah.
you're probably going to
Now,
die.
if somebody runs around the corner and, and
Oh, you put in their gut. Oh,
bang,
yeah,
bang,
they're
bang,
gonna-
bang, you can spam right up against them. But
Correct.
if there's any amount of range involved, fire and recover. That's essentially what you're hoping for the hand cannon,
Exactly
especially for
right.
the last word.
Yep.
Okay.
So see, like, when I'm close, I destroy people. But when I'm at range,
you got to aim
I'm
that thing. You
having
got to
some-
aim that thing, partner.
having some hard times.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Good shot.
Yeah, thanks.
You're so brave.
Yeah.
This is how cowards hunt. Could you just put an elk in a fenced-in area and give me some grenades?
That actually sounds amazing. It's like
No.
an elk smoothie. So let's move on to talk about what PvP did for us. So
Okay.
Derek and his team of Awesome Sauce backed us up on all these changes.
Let me extract some of the
Do it.
the plain-spoken folks for the the inside baseball chatter.
Mm-hmm.
When you say PvP, you mean the Crucible design team, the competitive multiplayer design team.
Exactly.
You work pretty much hand in hand with those guys.
Very much so.
The way Guardians fight and the environment in which they fight has to be a collaboration. And when I look in the playtest labs, I see all those personalities. I see you guys. I see Noosk. I see Mackay. I see some of the different people that we had on stream, along with Lars and Derek, and different representatives of the Crucible design team.
Right.
So what did they do?
So they have, in an effort to, again, pull the special weapons back down below primary. So we want you to primarily run your primaries.
Yep.
And then in special times,
Special times.
run your specials.
Yep.
So to do that, we've made some changes to the actual special ammo economy.
And they are.
They are. So players start Crucible matches with special ammo. So if you were paying attention when we started the stream, you would have noticed that Greg and I both came in with special ammo.
Yep.
However, don't do it, Greg.
Do
Do
it.
I have it? All right, do it.
Do it.
However, Pete, you want to switch to me. However, now that I've died and I respawn, my special ammo is gone.
Gone.
It's all gone.
It is gone.
So you lose it upon death, just like heavy now.
You lose it on death, exactly. And so, Greg, you want to take this part? Although Pate, stay with me, and I'll show you the thing.
show them the thing.
Sure. So now special crates appear every 60 seconds. So we increase the timer for which they appear.
So you're not going to create a famine, but you still want people to run around and have to shop for this stuff. Correct. I got my special. I'm using my special. I'm dead. Respawn. I got to get my special. I've got my special. I use it. I'm dead.
Exactly. It becomes a choice of what's the right thing to do right now, right?
Okay.
And that's not always go fill up your shotgun. Sometimes that's fight it out with your primary.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's get to the special crate and fight for the special.
Choose your moments. Manage your resources. Stay alive.
Yep.
You're basically provoking people to make more careful decisions about how some of the really powerful weapons in the game get used.
Exactly.
So there's much more risk rewards with the whole thing.
Yeah.
And now also we reduce the radius for which the special crate would share with the ally. So it's down to 75 meters instead of 100 meters. So
Oh, wow, okay.
so it means that like when you grab a special, that special crate is more than likely just for you.
And then there are a couple of exceptions that people are probably already asking about. I don't know that for a fact, but players only start with special for the first round in elimination game types. So in trials, you spawn in with special that first round, but once you are taken down, you will not come back in with it again. You're going to have to go shop for it after that.
So I'm seeing a couple things in chat I'd like to bring up.
Yep.
First of all, icebreaker invective.
Yeah, those are real choices. They do what they've always done. The interesting thing about both of those weapons is that when you die, you lose it, just like you do a standard special economy. But instead of having to shop for a crate, you just have to delay long enough that you earn back your ammo.
Yeah.
So those are still real choices. And
Cower in the corner.
cower in the corner until exactly.
Wait for it to grow back.
Exactly.
And what about sidearms?
Sidearms remain unchanged. They will still respawn with ammo. So we expect, we'll see by how much, but we expect the graph to widen for sidearms for that reason.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you adore sidearms, have a ball.
Here's another reason to continue to adore them.
All right.
Yep.
And then what else? What else do we want to say about the Crucible design changes?
So I think to close it out, maybe we'll run through a couple of notable class changes. There weren't a ton of them, but there were a few that we've made.
Okay.
And this is probably where the section of the show where I get the most tweets.
Okay.
Yeah.
At Josh Hamrick.
At Josh Hamrick.
Get him.
Yeah. So if you could switch to the thingy. I'll switch to the thingy.
There you go.
There we go.
Thank you very much. We'll start with the hunter. You put yourself first, huh?
I did. I put myself first, as I often do.
All right.
So I'm trying to think. Do I want to lead with a good? I'm going to close with the good. I'm going to lead with the great.
Okay.
Hungering Blade. Now immediately
Give me a demonstration of this. We're all standing around here. This isn't good TV, guys. Okay. I told you we need to fight.
I'll shoot you.
Greg, get me close to dead. More. Yes. Okay, so what you just noticed, Greg, again.
Again, hit it again. Oh, he's going to have to reload.
So what you're seeing there previously on Destiny, Hungering Blade would start to regenerate both your health and your shield at the same time.
Yeah.
And it would give you a small bump for both of those. So you get a little bit of health, a little bit of shield, and they both start regenerating.
Yep.
We found that, and by we, I mean I found that incredibly frustrating to fight against because it feels unfair that you've done all the work. You should be able to take this guy down. Your buddy runs out like, hey guys, what's it? He just gets ran over, and that guy's immediately back to full health.
Yep. Okay.
But it didn't want to crush that. So what we did now is your health immediately starts regenerating. Nothing's changed. And I give you a much bigger bump to health, which is allowed to roll over into your shields. So if you were down by 20, you'll be up positive of shields by 20. I think I give you 40 points of health back that is allowed to roll over. But your shields do not start regenerating. So kill to kill, you get a big bump in health every time you get the kill, but it doesn't mean that you're instantly back to full health the way that you previously were.
That was a lot of math, but in summary, you can use that as an attack, but if you're just spamming it all the time to heal yourself,
right?
It's not supposed to be an auto revive.
Exactly.
Like
it's going to make you hopefully think about your encounter choices a little bit more than you previously did. On a positive note, the throwing knife now deals solar damage, so you can take it into a solar burn and destroy fools with throwing knives, which I think is exciting for anybody that's into that.
All right. Anything else about hunters?
No, that's it. And I think Greg should talk about Warlocks.
Yeah, so we reduced the Stormcaller power melee range to be a bit more consistent with the other power melees.
Look at that. You're not dead.
I'm not dead.
You're not dead.
Live. Yeah, so it is, we just drew the range in to meet the other Warlock subclasses, to be clear.
And then to add more of a choice for Landfall, if you pick the Landfall node, now you have reduced total time in Stormtrance. So
And then
if you look at that clock, it's ticking down a little bit faster now.
That's right. So a reason to pick other nodes. There we go. And then Titans. Neither of us are a Titan, so we can't really show you this.
There isn't even a Titan on set. So
Yeah.
do we have a Titan in the loadout here?
Let's go see.
This guy?
Hey, yeah. I don't know if is he set up, but he's got, so Juggernaut is now disabled after being an AR for a short time. So not immediately, not the moment you come off the ground, not even necessarily the moment you fall off a ledge.
Yeah.
It takes some amount of time to kick in. That way, you can carry it through what feels like standard. Ah, so scary. Boop.
Oh, turns off.
Just came off. So it gives you plenty of time to do some stuff, but you can't just keep it on forever by flying through the air.
Yep. You don't get to be a Cabal Phalanx in the Crucible.
Exactly.
All right.
And then you cannot activate it while midair.
Okay.
So you can't jump off the ledge and then fire it in the air. And yeah,
Are those all the changes?
no,
Okay.
yeah, but I would say that's the big ones.
Those are the big headlines. In the patch notes that we're going to deliver on Tuesday, you can go ahead and end this game. In the patch notes that we're going to see on Tuesday, give them a preview of some other things they're going to read about. Sort of the minutia. You talked about there's a sort of a bushel of exotic weapon changes.
A couple of exotic weapon changes. So there's things to universal remotes, pretty potent. We've brought that down a hair.
Yeah.
Young Wolf's Howl's slightly cheaper to use now.
Yeah, we've fixed. There was some knee pad issues on certain
Some
weapons.
knee pads.
Some free knee pads that we've taken away.
So where do you want to fight?
We can.
You want to go back to where you just went? Let's pick a small map
pick
so
a
that
smaller
we
map.
concentrated action.
And then
Dealer's choice. What do you got?
let's go with Asylum.
Asylum it is. All right. So we're going to go fight. So our PvP testers have been good sports. They stood there and they took their licks. Now it's time for revenge.
Yeah. Now
Go ahead
it's
and
gonna
launch.
get ugly. Okay.
And do your best. To our watching audience, these are the architects of the stadium. They're not necessarily the big leaguers who hit the grand slam out of the park every week. We've got those people playing with them. Now, both of you would kick my ever-loving ass in the Crucible. So, there's different skill gaps here at Bungie, but they're about to go up against some of the best players that we have in the studio for illustration purposes. So please be kind. This is your chance to take your lumps, because you were just extremely abusive to your colleagues and coworkers. And as these things happen, just call them as you see them. Give us that developer commentary sensibility for what's happening in the Crucible.
Okay.
How much time do you think you spend in an environment like this fighting these same people throughout the course of a weapon update like this? It's not something to lean into the new shotgun meta. It's not like you shoot from the hip.
Yeah, no, we took a lot of time and thinking them through, and we put them in. Like, to be clear, this is a big list of changes, but they went in over the course of a month or so, right? So we would do tiny changes, play them, change them, leave them or pull them, and then add on top of that, and went slowly along, right? These aren't like, we're gonna turn all these knobs and then like, yeah, it's good enough. It's we stack them until we're happy with where we've ended up.
And fight.
All right.
So there you go with your hand cannon. Good trade, good trade.
First blood.
And those were some careful shots that I saw. That wasn't spamming. Then it was pretty close. That hand cannon kill was certainly not a cross map.
Oh.
That was the Stormcaller melee, but it looked like you were right up on the guy.
I was right on him, and I was very dead already. All right. This has got to happen.
What you gonna do? What are these changes you're making?
I'm going me.
You're going full you.
That's right.
Activate me. For interest of what?
The interest of getting killed. So I switched to a gunslinger because that's what I do, and I put on my throwing knives.
Your solar damage throwing knives.
Oh!
So the what was that? The scout rifle just beat the hand cannon.
Yeah, technically it did. And then Clever came in for a cleanup kill like a raptor. Let's go. I don't have audio, so it's not.
Yeah, you are at a disadvantage. Although there you are spamming your last word.
Nope. Also, my melee button's stuck, Teach.
Is your melee button
is, yeah.
stuck? Awesome. Well, you know, we've told our people to stop throwing the controllers in anger.
So let me see if I get the opportunity. I'll show you what not to do with the hand cannon anymore. Well, don't miss.
Don't miss, first of all.
Hey!
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Don't kill people with hand cannons anymore.
Whatever you do.
Just don't.
Nope.
One person in our chat room just said, everyone in chat is backseat gaming. But that's what chat's for. Isn't that the essential value proposition of Twitch, is for backseat gaming?
I'm just saying that.
Oh, no!
No!
It did look solar, though.
And he killed me with an assault rifle, which can be done.
Which can be done. It can be done. Proof positive. So you're dead. Why aren't you grabbing that special?
No, you're right.
There you go.
Absolutely
There
right,
you go.
I'm currently empty. All right, let's reload this thing. Now the proper way.
Yep.
Hey,
yep.
I'm in here.
You don't got. Yeah. Please come in the room.
That was a terrible grenade. I apologize, Twitch. This is amateur.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. They're watching Pang deal out some justice. Did you say you worked on that weapon? Is that your baby?
Teletrove?
Yeah. It's always nice to see a man take pride in his work. Grab that special. You need it after you died. Yeah, I've seen both of you grabbing the special crates, so the 60-minute respawn time does still make them relevant. You just have to make those choices.
Exactly. What's nice is that in that time frame, even if you come to one and there's a little time left, usually by the time you get to another one, it's there.
So, there you go. So Peng respawns. He grabs another special crate. I saw you just try to do a flying acrobatic kill with your Matador back there.
No go?
Old habits die hard. Well, you know, his enemy combatant was juking back and forth, but I think there's so much body memory inherent to mastering a game like this that when we do give people these changes, there will be some initial frustration. There will be that painful evolution. Nice. Now you can have that special.
Maybe he was my grenade balls.
Do you think he was camping that special crate because he wanted it?
Yes.
That's going to be another.
Confident.
Yeah, that's another element now. Is I see you camping out that box. So people will fight with primaries for the right to equip their special ammo again.
I'm gonna die. It's gonna be bad.
It's just part of life, man. You don't even have a teammate in here.
Hey! So I made the last word, honest to God, for myself. I thought this was going to be my gun.
Yep.
This is what I'm going to always run.
Yep.
Turns out I'm terrible with it. And I've never gotten good with it.
Yeah. I love the aesthetics of the last word, but I have no business holding it in my hand.
Me neither, as it turns out.
Yeah. So, well, there you go.
Check out the...
You shot him right in the back.
I did.
You should have... His back was to me.
He didn't have to turn his back to me. Ah!
It was a little spammy, and you pay the price. Of course, he had his clever dragon. Even with that reduced rate of fire.
Still real good.
Still real good.
Yeah.
So, chat, tell us, of all the changes that we've made, is there, everyone type the name of the weapon that you think has been impacted the most of the conversation that we've had today. And it'll take a few seconds for that to get that to them.
So I'm gonna have, oh, this is bad. Greg, what are you running into out there? A bit of everything? Because I'm seeing everything.
Yeah, a lot of people in chat are saying shotgun, shotgun, shotgun,
Yep.
shotgun, shotgun. They're also saying scory, 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 scory. The shotguns are going to play a very different role now. People who have used them for everything, people who are used to jumping around and flying around are going to need to plant those feet, shoulder that weapon, and aim that thing.
Exactly
the
right.
way a shotgun does. You can still hip fire it if you're close right up on your opponent.
But if you're not, play smart.
Play smart. Play deliberate, I guess.
It's also nice because it just reads better in the silhouette when the shotgun guy has it up to his face, right? So it just feels better to play against. You're not quite as surprised with some of the kills. Like
Yep.
you used to be.
So you had mentioned when we were in orbit, when we were making the transition, you had mentioned universal remote.
Yes.
What are some, without talking too much about the changes, we'll let the community speculate and theorize as to what you might have adjusted. What are some of the other exotics on the list?
So Truth is on the list.
Truth is on the list. Okay. You buffed the
yeah.
tracking,
Exactly. Yes, we
and
gave
you made
it-
the rounds interdimensional so they can go through walls.
That is correct. Those are the exact changes.
Okay.
So yeah, Truth, Universal, Clever. There was only a few weapons that we hit by name, and then we hit to get away from weapons. We hit Shinobu's Vow. We did the same to it.
Okay.
We have touched Blink in some way. If people were watching, or if they go back in the stream and rewatch, a reason to replay the stream today, you'll notice I was running Blink, and you can actually find those changes in there.
Secrets.
Secrets.
Easter eggs.
Yeah, that sounds better. That sounds better. That sounds fun. And then, Greg, help me. I'm drowning. What else do we change?
Young Wolf's Howl.
Okay.
What's we change?
Let's see. Yeah.
Nice kill.
Thank you. I can trip. There's one thing I'm good at.
And
Yep.
are there any changes to scoring?
To story?
To scoring. Scoring.
Scory.
Oh, the artifact. You mean.
Yes. Yes.
Oh. No.
No changes to scoring.
Changes to scoring.
Okay.
You left the artifacts alone.
Leave artifacts alone.
All right. Well, we had set this to maximum score, maximum time. So
Oh, wait, where'd he go? Oh! See, he used shotgun correctly. He totally drew me in and then stood there in ADS with a matador.
we're going to give you a 2-minute warning on the game here.
Okay. But we have 20 minutes left.
We do, but I think the stream is good for an hour, and we have to get back to work.
We have to.
Are there
Yes.
any?
Plus, there's also a Bungie bounty in progress, and,
Oh.
we're stepping on that.
Ew.
So, not the best planning on my part, but this seemed like a good time to get our channel lit back up and to give a demonstration for some of the different changes that you're making on Tuesday.
Heavy ammo on the way.
I'll say that very thankful for everybody that helped make changes, test changes, push changes, agree to let us release changes. And I'm very excited for you guys to play this. I hope it meets your expectations and that it changes the game for the
Well,
better.
there will certainly be a healthy debate, and there always is. And fortunately, we have Mr. Greg Peng to look at the internet every 3 hours.
About every 3 hours.
So, we'll invite the community to keep talking to us, and we'll continue the conversation rolling. Obviously, it
Get out of here.
takes a painstaking process with data analysis and testing and playing and iterating to create a balanced patch like this. So, you guys continue to take your time and make sure that you do it in a way that doesn't completely disrupt the meta or completely break the game.
Right.
But at the same time, there is a symbiosis here, so we'll continue to react to the players as we do. We're going to let them round out their game, but unless there's anything else that we need to talk about, we're going to wrap up the show. We do appreciate you spending some time with us in our Twitch channel today. And I thank Josh Hamrick and Greg Peng for the work that they've done in addressing the combat meta in Destiny, and for joining us on set today to share with us some of the work that they have coming to you in Destiny Update 2502. In the weekly blog update this week at Bungie, we'll talk to you about when you can receive it, when you should download it, and we'll have some helpful tips from Destiny player support that always come into play when we're dispatching new content from us to you. So with that, I thank you for watching. I'm Deej. It's been my pleasure to host. Again, Josh, Greg.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Totally worth the drive in this morning.
Yeah, exactly. And all the roadblocks and all the snowy landscape and the chaos. Yeah, when it snows here in the majestic Pacific Northwest, it certainly wreaks havoc on our day. But I'm glad you made it into set on time, and we didn't have to have a weather delay for a Twitch stream.
That's right.
Of all the indignities one can imagine. Anyway, that's our show for the day. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back here soon to talk to you about some other things. That's all.
Bye, guys. Thank you.